And I think I can count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I think supposedly we should be live right now. So happy Thursday, everyone. Welcome to our No Code Ops live community show. As every Thursday, we're here with influential members of the no code space, either coming members of our community or from the global no code space. We're here to provide you with the best knowledge and expertise from these people. So I'm very excited to have Sebastian here with us from Make today. So hi, Sebastian. And today we
Hey,
will be touching upon very hot topics once again, because we that's what we do. We identify the trends and we get amazing people like you to come and teach us all about them. So Make, as we all know, is one of the tools that are most, one of the mostly used tools in our community. Is a no-code automation tool, and obviously the other super hot trend nowadays is AI, or even more, ChatGPT. And so we're here today with you, to Sebastian, just to explore, that amazing combo of Make and AI and see its full potential. So would you like to introduce yourself and maybe tell us a little bit about your explanation today?
yeah, absolutely, sure. Thanks a lot, Claudia, for hosting this today, and I'm super happy to be here to share my knowledge and to share the insights. Um, am I already sharing? Should I go in the presentation and introduce
Sure.
myself a
Let
bit?
me let me let me put your screen up.
Yes, thanks.
Awesome.
Let's see. Just let me know when you see the full screen because
I can see a beautiful 3D cannon. And hello to
yeah,
everyone watching us in the audience. Feel free to interact. This is an interactive event, meaning that you can always chat with us, and we will make sure that we ask all the questions that you might have coming from the chat. I'll make sure that I'll feed them to Sebastian. So
yes.
this is fun because we can do it all together with you all. So don't be
Right.
shy.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm super happy to answer all your questions, all the use cases, all the possibilities, because we want to fire up, and that's why I brought the Ken today. I really think that together we can definitely work with AI and make on a strong position. Yeah, Chloe, you asked me to introduce myself a bit.
Hmm.
It's all about make an AI, and I catch your logo there. So I'm Sebastian. I'm running strategic projects, and as you can imagine, AI is one of our strategic goals this year to innovate and integrate with it. And I will come to this and how it plays with Make in just a second. If you need anything, just drop me a message. There's an email and there's LinkedIn. And super happy to chat if you have anything where like could be better, or when you see, okay, there's a cool use case with AI. I would go further if it's okay and just like introduce a bit of Make.
100%. Yeah, sure. And
And
also, like on top of your social links and email, which is amazing, people, Sebastian is a fantastic member of our community at No Code Ops. So you can also reach out to him in our Discord, which is open 24/7, as you all know. And so, yeah, we're in there. We gather the best minds in the no code world.
thanks. Yeah, just brought a little agenda before we go into like the use cases, because I want to show you why we're doing this. I think the why behind Make and AI is super important. So let's do a little intro. And there was actually a life before AI. So when we're thinking about how do people work, how do people create things, we can go back to a brief history of mankind. So basically, like 200,000 years ago, we developed like kind of from ape to humans. And then, like just 70,000 years ago, there is this cognitive revolution really kicking in. And like 12,000 years ago, we started agriculture, but like totally kicked off our population. And then just 500 years ago, just think about the time scale we are at. It started like the scientific revolution. And today we're talking about something that is human like, maybe smart enough like humans, and can interact with us. So, now going one step further, how many people do you know that can code? Maybe you know a bit more than the average community out there, but nevertheless, I think there are not many coders, or we're not going to hit the threshold of 10% of coders. Just think back 500 years ago. How many people were able to read and write? Not many people, right? So it's like with today. Not many people may be able to code. Not many people might be able to code with AI. So our story at Make is the future needs to be no code and visual. And this is for us super, super important because when you think back to what I just showed you is we enable this. That's a good one. We enable absolutely this. We enable you to code visually with no code with AI to really boost the next step on this cognitive revolution. And therefore, we imagine a world where everyone has the power to innovate without limits. And that's our core mission at Make. It's our story. That's what we really strongly believe in. So, well, let's go deeper. We imagine a world where everyone can automate with AI. And that's what I will show you today on some of the use cases we're using actively inside Make to boost our daily operations. So I'm not showing you how you can do it like externally. No, we're showing you the insides of the company. So super super customer centric because you can basically reuse them for your business as well. So I think it's enough of my blah blah. You're not here for listening to all the nice words. I think you're here for listening to some of the use cases. Claudia, just shortly asking you, you see my screen still? Is everything working in this regard?
I can see your screen. Yeah,
Okay.
you've come out of the presentation, so I can see your tabs.
Okay,
Many
nice.
tabs, just like
Many
any
times. Yeah,
just
I
like any
prepared some.
techie would have. So
Yeah, I was thinking, okay, like how can I really show use cases? I'm not the person who likes to just say like, okay, we have a nice PowerPoint and I dive you through and I get you through the PowerPoint. No, I really, really want to go with you into some of these automations. Let me just
I think it's great
open.
that you're showing us from inside, as you were saying,
Yes.
from inside the tool itself rather than just like theory.
Yes, and
So
there's the first one I want to show you is if you go on the community.make.com, let's do this together, okay? We just go on the communitymake.com, and well, Chloe, you're community manager as well, right? Is like sometimes
that's what they
people
say.
sometimes people ask questions and you're like, well, I would love to help you. Okay, that was not the right one. Let's check another one. Yeah. Sometimes people ask you questions and you're like, well, I would really like to help you, but it's kind of hard to do so because there's not much context provided in your question or there's a missing screenshot. So, what we did at Make is we built a community AI driven bot that analyzes the public information and understands what the user is asking and then guides the user into the right direction to help him get an answer. And there's so much of a value at there because a lot of times we have our community members going into these posts and say like, well, could you please post me some more information? Could you please add a screenshot? And we automated that. That's good stuff. You can automate the question of adding more information to it. And I think it's enough of showcasing this case. I could
That's really
also.
interesting. We have something similar in our Discord that actually our CEO, Philip, he worked on. And so together with the developer of this bot, I think it's called ANSI. So
Mhm.
we have a bot called the operator in our Discord, and you can ask him questions. And so
Mhm.
he searches for the whole server and also takes information from other communities as well to provide the solution or see if anyone else had answered that question in the past. So
Yeah,
it's really cool. I don't know if he's using Make for it, maybe.
maybe. That would be actually really, really valuable if you could share that with our community managers. I would love that they get that knowledge as well, Claudia. Thanks for that. I want to show you another case so you can really see, okay, there's not much of context provided here, and that's why we're asking. So enough of that talking. Let's dive into the automation. That's it. That's the automation we're using for this. I can actually walk you a bit through, and I think that's the expectation of you being here. You want today see really how you can use open AI inside of Make. So what we're doing first here is we are basically taking all the topics that are new. We analyze the topics a bit deeper, and then we need to skip the timeout of the API of OpenAI, and then we dive into it. So, and you probably know the best practices of AI. When working with AI, it's always good if you give clear instructions, clear expectations, really describe something well. And I will also show you a case where we do not do that perfectly, yeah? But just in like 10 minutes or so. So right now, what I'm doing is really telling him who you are. And I'm saying, okay, you're a community manager, only respond with what you get from the post. Do not add additional information. Super important, because if you start without telling him the rules or the guidance, OpenAI will take in all the knowledge it learned and might answer with totally random things.
Yeah, it's gonna go wild otherwise.
Absolutely, it goes absolutely wild. And then we describe the post. And here comes, I mean, that's something, just a simple task. It can be anything. We describe here basically, okay, you will validate a community post. You have to validate if there's a picture, no picture, so on and so on. And what we do as well, and this is like the hack we learned, the answer should be a JSON string. Because if it is a JSON string, as you probably know in Make, you can parse it. So if you get a JSON string back in Make, you can simply transform it and filter with it. I will show you in a second. And then we put in the post, and as you would do it in the playground, I think all of you that are today here are familiar with the playground of OpenAI. So basically, for example, like this is like the playground. Can strongly recommend if you want to understand how the API works, because ChatGPT is cool, and especially if you go with like 3.5 version. But if you really want to understand how the API works, this is the way to go. Go in the playground and put in your content here, because this is just the front end for the API. So what we do here is we use it like with this, with the JSON, and then we get back this JSON. So we take the choices of this app and we basically replace everything and create the JSON with the answers. And well, again, we need to time out, because if we run both API calls directly behind each other, we get a timeout. And now we did not answer anything yet. We just analyzed. And this is also something we learned: split these two parts. First analyze, or first answer and then analyze. Always split it. If you do it together in one prompt, you might have a challenge. There are ways to solve that in one prompt, but that makes it way harder to parse and work with it in Make. Going forward from here, then we do a lot of if statements. So basically, if this analysis has been true, do X, Y, Z. And so we go in here, give him again some instructions, some rules, and then we let the AI answer based on the true and false statements. So please be kind and remind to describe his problem in a bit more detail so the user can help him. Ask the user kindly to define his problem a bit preciser, and then it will build an answer.
Mm-hmm. The more detailed, the better, basically.
Yes, the more detailed, the more better. And only continue if these statements are false. And with this logic, we are able to understand and answer automatically with AI inside a community. And that's a super, like, that was our first use case we started testing out. And we have to be honest, it works, I would say, like from the people I've been talking to 70, 80%. Of course, sometimes it's not so super sharp, but the value add is there. And even though if you just save 5 or 10% of your time by using AI, it's still worth it.
Hmm. And this
So,
is how you guys built it, I guess. This is like you showed us how you created the whole automation in Make and
it's
pulled.
actually production. So
Yeah,
this is actually the live one. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That's amazing. That's cool. And it's really great to see because yesterday we were learning about Make APIs and how to use what you were saying, with the
Mm.
JSON and all of that. So it's really nice to see how we're all our events kind of link up together. It's really great.
Yeah. I would go forward
Hmm.
and show some other examples. So
Adrian
basically,
Herrera says, "This is fantastic. Hi, Adrian. Really great to see
hey,
you." And
thanks.
Andy, there's Andy here saying, "Hi, Sebastian." Yeah, lots of friends in the chat.
Nice. Great to see all of you. I don't know who's in there because I'm sharing my screen. So if you have questions, really feel free to ask them. I think Claudia will pass them
Yeah,
along. And yeah, we're super happy to chat.
Claudia, your
Um,
virtual assistant.
you're not an AI.
No, I'm
No.
better.
Yeah, you're better. Way better. So, wait, that was the one I wanted to show. Um, give me 1 second. I closed the tabs, which I didn't close. So there is one more case I think is super interesting is the analysis of posts. So what we're doing is we want, of course, one day being able maybe to provide the user the correct answer to his problem based on learnings of the AI. So what we're doing right now is we're saving all of the posts of users and all their question inside a data store, basically. Could it be any kind of database? And what we will do with this, and now I need 1 second because I wasn't able to open it before the session.
No worries. In the meantime, we have a question that I was waiting for us. I knew that was coming. So Luke Thompson says, "Hi Luke. I know it's pretty fresh, but have you had any chance to do anything with ChatGPT 4 yet?"
I will cover that in a second. I will just finish this one, and then we'll definitely dive into that.
Luke, you're the winner because I was waiting. I was like, let's see who the first person to ask about ChatGPT 4 is going to be. So, round of applause for you. All right. Is
So
it working?
I
Yeah.
I'm looking forward for that. So let me just check it out. Looking for my fine tune. It might be I deleted it to be honest, but I can cover it on a vocal basis. It's okay. What we're doing with this information is then you probably know API OpenAI fine tune. So what you can do inside Make is you can, of course, upload all of this knowledge, all of these prompts in the fine tune, and you could with Make enrich your automation and you can build a custom AI that answers specifically to your community questions. Nevertheless, maybe I will find a scenario. If not, I will reshare it in the community later on.
Mm-hmm.
Still in development, and I have so many accounts right now open, so I have to switch always, and that's a bit disturbing
Absolutely.
for
That's
my
totally fine.
workflow.
I'm in no rush whatsoever to see AI taking over my community manager
No.
job.
Let's maybe go forward then regarding some cool use case I've been showing previously in one of our blog posts, but I think it's absolutely worth mentioning. Um, let's take this one. I will switch to this briefing as well later on. So here I have some text which I want to now answer. So what I do is I just copy it into my clipboard and this is my prompt. I copy paste it in, and I say, write me an offer for this. And now it is starting to run one of these scenarios. I have to check, just go back. Let's reload this one. And you see just here, it has been running like a second ago. And if I go here and I just open a new file and I just copy paste this in, it just put it into my clipboard, and there we go. So what I build is basically a Mac shortcut that allows me to work with AI in life. We know these AI assistants, there are some plugins, there are some tools, but none of these tools can plug into your operating Windows or Mac system. On Windows, there are some other tools you can use instead of shortcuts, but on Mac, you can use the shortcuts. And I will simply walk you a bit through this, how you can do that. Let me just reshare my screen.
Mm-hmm. Don't worry, I'll pull it in.
And here we go. I will share again. And I will just share the entire screen for a second. Okay, you should see my screen now.
There it is.
So, perfect. So how does it work? I take the text, I added a shortcut here as a keyboard shortcut. This is the demo version because I don't want to publicly disclose my webhook URL. Bear with me, please, there. And
we'll allow it.
Can you pixel it in live, or can you blur it in live? Anyway, so basically it asks me for the prompt and says, well, can you give me your context? And then it will send it to Make, take the text, copies the text again to the clipboard, plays a sound, so I hear, okay, it worked. And that's what happened here. So let's maybe dive a bit into it. When I send the information to Make, it will basically replace and check if there's some information context provided. So if I even want to customize it further, I can include these kind of variables. And then I extract the variables, whatever. And here I basically create with this pre-built prompt my answer. And that's pretty much it. And then I get a webhook response. And then I have already this answer. Again, I can repeat, or let me say like, what is no code ops? Let's see what OpenAI said.
Okay. Bear in mind, his knowledge is, back to 2021.
Yeah, let's see.
Let's see.
Yeah, let's see. So I can just, come on, just take it here. Oh, that was my bad. I can just take it here. What is no code ops? And I can just send it, and let's see. It just takes probably a second.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, and I wouldn't say it is not that bad, right?
To refer to the development and maintenance of software application without the need for dedicated coding or software engineering team. Yep.
Yeah. And all of this without going to ChatGPT, without switching applications. You simply press one command and it opens my prompt on my Mac, and I can directly interact with it. I personally love this kind of automation because it goes so handy in my working style. And you can take this even further, because right now, if you use these assistants, you always have the problem, they only work in Chrome, they only work in Slack, they're not cross-functional over these applications. And with Make, you can build this. So I can even go into Slack and I can copy something, paste it, and with this scenario, it will automatically answer me something and return me here, for example, I'm confident that your automation technology can, I just used it, tested it for an email today. I'm showing this, for example, at conferences, so you can see I'm not using this scenario. Often I have another one that is actually running because I want to keep my webhook private. If you have any questions, how to
That's
use
what I was
this.
gonna say. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. If there's anyone here that at any point has any question, feel free to drop them in the chat. You know, this is an interactive event. We would like to be with you as much as possible. Luke is saying that as he's watching this, he's also trying new scenarios in Make, which is fantastic. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to do this. Of course, we do this every week, so because we're that cool. But yeah, for sure, let us know if there's anything that you would like to know. Sebastian, in the meantime, do you have any other use cases, or do you want to build
Yes.
something from scratch, impromptu?
We can actually do that at the end. I want to emphasize following. If you want to reuse this Mac shortcut thing and plug it into your daily life, we prepared this as templates. You can simply use this. Just write us on the No Code Ops community, and we're super happy to share it there. Okay?
Awesome. We do have a question from Trip Stanford. Hi,
Mm-hmm.
Trip. What are common OpenAI use cases that you found?
Found inside a company or inside users?
I guess like just common OpenAI use
Hmm.
cases in general. And Tali,
Yeah.
hi, hola Tali. He says build from scratch.
Build from scratch. Okay, I can try that one. So common use cases are classifying data, and this is something I'm gonna build live if you want to. Um, the other one we're constantly seeing is analyzing data to understand what it is about and to route some message, some answer. What we as well see quite often is trying to understand an answer based on it. But to be honest, automatically answering is something we've seen a lot of users, especially in the community where you can check it out. People are afraid of, and it kind of makes sense. Just imagine you ask a question, and the answer is totally wild, and you're like, yeah. So doing it in between human interaction to save time and to get the analysis part up and running, that's where the value proposition I think lies currently. Um, I can actually show you some of that and would go a bit forward on this, and then we're going to switch to the live building.
Yeah, 100%. And from my perspective, what I've been seeing from, from our past events here and just conversations around the community, many people are obviously using OpenAI for marketing tools and reasons. So like they're creating very small marketing apps that they can use, whether it is to schedule and write their tweets, their social media posts, and all of that. So I've seen a lot of that around. And a latest tweet that I've been following today is this guy. I can't remember his name, but he's he's asked ChatGPT, "Hey, I have $100 as a budget. How can we make, how can you turn this into like a million? Just like let's build a business." And there's a thread, and there's like millions of people following that thread. So it's people are just going crazy with this, but it's great because people are curious and they want to know and learn, which
Yeah.
is the positive thing that I can tell and see about it, rather than being absolutely scared and think that we're all gonna be I don't know, controlled
Unemployed.
by AI. Yeah, and
Yeah.
unemployed as well.
Yeah. I can tell you AI is far away from getting people
Yeah.
unemployed. It's like if you ask that's like the best example. If you ask AI, John's mom has 4 kids, Anna, Claudia, and Sebastian. What's the name of the 4th kid? And it's not able to answer John. And it was like that. Okay, we're years away from that. But nevertheless, it helps you with a lot of data analysis. And since OpenAI is trained um, till the year 2021, you can do a lot of data enrichment with it. So what I will show you right now is some cool use case, how you can simply get data from the internet, which is known till then, What I will do is I prepared some of the copies here, and I just probably need to reload this because that might not work right away. I have to take the ID.
No worries. In the meantime, I did try that John has two kids. John's mom has two kids. Maybe they improved the
Maybe
machine
they
because it gave,
improved it
yeah, they
finally.
gave me, he gave me the right answer.
Yeah, it is okay. We're gonna see, and I need to update this one. Spreadsheet ID. Come on, that's not the right one. Select
Is there
internet.
anyone here who's not familiar with Make? Or is there anyone watching from the audience that uses it on a daily basis? And like, have you used it with AI at all? That'd be interesting to know.
Yeah. I would go forward if it's okay, and just updated the ID of the spreadsheet, and you can see it's pretty straightforward in Make. And now let's run it again. And permission denied. So I'm in the wrong. Oh, I hope I just didn't break the scenario of my colleague. Let's see again. Yeah, it's
You'll need a
probably.
switchboard to fix that. Andy
Yeah,
O'Neill
yeah, yeah.
says, I've built my freelance agency around Make. Awesome, Andy. That's super great.
Yeah. Let's do following. Let me just shortly add the right connection here.
Sebastian Gebhardt
Mm-hmm.
says hi. He's here. He's here just for you. And
Thanks.
AI. I'm kidding, Sebastian. And Tali says, can you please, well, it doesn't say can you please, it just says sell me Make over Zapier.
I can easily do that. I can easily do that. No worries.
He's not
So
biased at
let's
all.
try. Let's try this one if it works. So you can finally see I'm doing live automation right now, and this
Yeah,
would be
that's
super
live.
hard, by the way, in Zapier, because you in Zapier then need to replace all of the chain if you change the first module. And I know they enhanced it a bit, but still, it's not that easy. I kind of have a bug here. Select the path. Just let me add.
Walk us through your steps that you're doing right now. What are you
Yeah,
building?
sure. Basically, I'm replacing the connection of the file, so we can really use the one, and it's still not the right one. So
Yeah.
select.
Trip says, I heard Make is a whole lot more affordable than Zapier, and we were having this conversation
Yeah.
earlier on, and yeah, it is. It is.
So now walking you through that, what I did is basically I updated the connection to really take this sheet because I prepared this sheet for our session today. And I obviously forgot to change the connection into the right one. So now I'm taking in the company name, I'm asking OpenAI, hey, what is the domain? And it's not taking my. Okay, that might be open. I hope OpenAI is not down right now. If I get a 500, that would be really bad for our session to come here. Now it works not. Okay, that's really bad. I think OpenAI has a problem here right now. Give me one sec.
No worries. We're always here for a good troubleshooting.
Yeah, it's always the best one if you need to troubleshoot in live sessions, but this
Because
seems
that's
to
when you
work.
learn, that's when you learn.
Yeah.
Um,
And now you should see OpenAI is able to get you the right domain of the company. And this is something super, super good. Okay. So you can save hundreds of hours of analyzing domains. And I let the scenario fail now after the third one because I don't want to get and use all my credits. And of course, sometimes it's not 100% correct. So you need to really loop with it. But it kind of gets the companies quite well. And what you can do with this kind of automation further is you can now take the sheet, and I will also switch to my connection here again, and I will just call it delete because I want to delete it after this live session. And yes, you can simply allow it. And going further from that, we're gonna use the sheet I have on my clipboard. And that's now what I will show you is like the enhancement of it, because you can do something, and that's also not really possible in Zapier. You should have not asked me like, hey, can you compare it to Zapier? That was like the killer question from me. You can do following. You can simply get the domain via an HTTP module. So basically what we're doing here is we're going with Make on the company website to understand what's the company about, and to then use again AI to write us text for it. And it should work here. Let's see if this one got it right now. It seems to be good. And then we will simply upgrade the file as well. There we go. Column range. And it automatically saves the value we have been using before. And I just give it a try. It might fail, or it does work directly. Let's see. So now I'm going in here, and if everything goes well, we should see in a second coming in a lot of data. And permission denied. The color does not have the permission. Yeah, probably because I need to use this one. And let's do it again. But I will show you what we did in the prompt. So this is the content of the website Hexacon. And we just analyzed this website because we identified as the domain. And we take like all the value proposition, like everything what is on the website. And then we say, okay, to explore content available, we let OpenAI classify. And there you remember back like the use cases we had. Let OpenAI do the classification work. You probably have hundreds of BDRs around the world that do this job every single day, going on the website, identify which industry, which company to reach out. Does it fit to our core market? Do we want to get in touch with this company? So on and so on. And now I will run it again, and I hope I have now the right account in here. And we're going to take again the website. Of course, if the website is running behind something like Cloudflare or so, it will not work. But now you should see, cool, there we go. And it takes the next company and the next company and the next company and enriches with the live data from the website all of this automatically. And this is one of like the key value propositions of OpenAI. You can let it do the human job here. And of course, a person needs now to reach out and really do this. Okay, cool.
That's fantastic. We also have Matthias in the chat who's been sharing some great use cases. He says, I've built multiple tools with Make and AI. One of them being I insert my opinion on a topic, I choose the tone, and the app creates a Twitter post. That's great, Matthias. And he's been sharing some more. Like he's been using a lot of Make and AI, so you should definitely reach out to him.
Yeah. And when we're talking about building AI live and in these kind of use cases, I hope you already got like some sneak preview there. What I've seen is a lot of times you need to loop with AI. You need to have a second iteration. I mean, right now, what you've seen in the Google Sheet, of course, we are taking this Google Sheet and we're going to work with it. And you've seen, for example, artist.spotify.com. That's, of course, not the right domain of Spotify. But if you want to and that's something I would like to ask back. If you say you're automatically generating content, do you automatically post it on Twitter, or do you review the content before you post it on Twitter? Maybe you can write in the chat in the meantime.
Yeah, let us know. I think, what would you say? What would the best practice be? I guess, I mean, I would always review before posting anything. Because
I would do the same, to be honest, but I can show you a scenario where you can see that it works kind of well in understanding the context directly, and you don't need to review it. So this is some as you can read it in the upper left corner, this is some proof of concept we're right now testing out to enhance our user support. Okay, so we want to understand how far can we take OpenAI. I'm not saying this is live, and I'm not saying that we're going to use it in the future. It is. I'm sharing you a POC we're testing out in the meantime. And yeah, so this is our live ticket system. I will not click into any tickets because of data confidentiality reasons, but I can run it. So you can see, okay, we're taking in the tickets and we let AI do the work, and whatever that is, let's just unlink this for now so it runs anyway. And what we do is, again, we can parse JSON automatically. We can understand this automatically. I don't know why the tools are failing here. Let me just unlink this. Yeah, I think I get it because I changed yesterday something, and yeah, but it doesn't matter. So let's do.
Sebastian is gonna get a lot of Slack messages from the team. What's happened to our automations?
Yeah, again, it's like only the POC, and that's a challenge. I copy them always over, so I can show them and reuse them and remove them basically from, or I copy them from production. And of course, there's some cases I tested them before, but then the connection changed or so on. Anyway, what I want to show you is that we are able to classify if this support question could have been asked in the community. So theoretically, we can qualify and understand if users can maybe ask their question already on a public channel. And if we see this, so basically the output is community true, okay? I cannot go into the question of the user right now because I don't know what he questioned and I might disclose personal information, which is of course not okay. But I want to give you the feeling and understanding that this is possible. The same goes for detecting apps. We have our top 250 apps. We have over 1,400 apps nearly, and we want to understand what top apps are used, and we want to automatically classify this in support tickets. So what we can do is we can understand with OpenAI, does this app match? Of course, you could build this with regex or with some kind of logic, but OpenAI does it just way better. And the other one is basically the refund one. What we're doing here is we're asking ChatGPT or OpenAI, in this case, we're using really like the 3.5 version. Hey, it is payment related. No. Okay, let me take an example what's hopefully payment related, because we get a lot of payment related questions. Nah, it's also not payment related. But what I can do is I can just go in here and we can see your software company. Since it is trained till 2021, I'm using Integromat because Make was previously called Integromat. It does not yet understand that we're called Make, but okay. And I'm asking this. Here you can see 3.5 turbo as a user. Is my question payment related or not? Because if it's payment related, we can directly route this question to a payment agent who's responsible for handling this. And again, going back to the use cases, I've been telling you what is a really good one. Routing, understanding, analyzing, routing. And this is like a really cool showcase, what you can see. And we are using some data enrichment, again, there, understanding if the user wants to make an API call, there is no limit in Make. Yeah? Even though the app might not be on our app canvas, you can always use this one. You can always use HTTP, and you can simply integrate every API with Make, even though you don't find the app on Make. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if we're not having like 5,000 apps like other players in the market. With this simple HTTP request, you can integrate anything. Okay, cool.
That's interesting. Sebastian says OpenAI checks the line items of an invoice, a purchase order, a delivery note for our customers, and provides an accuracy percentage and some hints on what is possibly missing in which document.
What I can strongly recommend you, and I think this is one of the key learnings you can take from this session if you're already that advanced in in using OpenAI, you can say, please respond me a JSON. So defining the JSON inside Make like this, giving it the message and giving it a JSON, allows you to use the answer in parsed JSON. And that works perfectly. The only thing you might need to do is you might need to limit the tokens. It goes really well depending on the length of your key value pair here. I'm going a bit more technical right now. If I'm losing anybody, feel free to ask. And for example, here I'm asking for 3 key value pairs, so I need to use more tokens in the answer. But if you put like 180 here, it will not work because OpenAI then tries to use all of the tokens available. You need to shorten the tokens as much as possible so you get a super good JSON response.
Can you give us a definition of what a token is?
No, I cannot. It's like going way too far. It's going way too far because like I can only tell you 1,000 tokens cost you around 2 cents, and it's really cheap. Yeah.
All right, that's money language is universal. Ray's asking, does this show up in a chat on the screen or in an email? I guess the answer, or when you're pulling information from the community.
Can you ask a question again? I didn't quite catch it. Sorry.
Does this show up in a chat on the screen or in an email? I guess when you're getting their information. So after you do the automation, where do you get that text? In a chat or in an email?
For the support case you're meaning right now.
Mm-hmm.
This is yet to discuss. So
okay.
There might be different. You can also move it back to our ticketing system probably. But what we want to show is that you have this use case. You have the use case potential. How you automate it further, that's up to you. But for now, you can do anything. You can move it in email. You can move it back into Slack. You can basically put it everywhere.
Yeah, that makes sense. And Matthias answered your question that you asked him. So he says, I can review and edit before posting, but currently the Twitter API is just too expensive, so it's not connected.
Yeah, they changed it. That's really, really downer. Okay, so going forward from here, we can do some live building if you want to, but I need a use case, because I'm like all my creativity has been trained now, and I need a use
from
case
the
from
presentation. Of course. So I'm just gonna revert this question to our audience. Let us know one not too tricky use case, because we only have 15 minutes left, and let us know. And in the meantime, Sebastian, I can pull in a question from the forum.
Yes, please.
Let's see if we have anything interesting in there. What are some of the most impactful AI-based automations that you've seen?
Definitely Synthesia. Synthesia is one of the ones. Midjourney is amazing. Stable Diffusion is amazing. There is some I don't remember the name, like where you can create audios with it, like David Guetta did for his live Eminem feature he had. It's really cool one actually. Of course, the like elephant in the room is OpenAI. But these are kind of like tools are. We have a short list of really important AI apps. Recognize positive form, negative email tone. That's actually a good one.
Yeah, we got good people in the community.
Okay, maybe I can also answer Konstantin's question.
Yes, do you know how secure?
Okay, so if we go further over any POC stages or so on, the possibility to run your OpenAI inside Azure. That's the one thing you can do. And the other thing is, of course, you can always, if you are based in European Union, you can close DPA, data processing agreement, Of course, and if you want to customize it and run it on your own server, OpenAI has been publicly publishing GPT-2 till GPT-2. Everything after GPT-2 has been private. So these are like the options when it comes like to private information. We all don't probably know what OpenAI does with all the information we are feeding it with. Yeah. So that's it from my side on this regard.
Awesome. Do you want to try and
I
'cause we have
switched
that
to the
yeah, we have
live
10 minutes left,
building.
and I want to make sure everyone's loving it today, by the way. So thank you so much, Sebastian. Before we wrap up at the end, I just want to say I'm very grateful to have you here. And, obviously you're an awesome member of our community. So grateful for that as well. As we were chatting earlier on, like one of the ways that I want to empower the members at No Code Ops is to get them up here on stage, because we have so much talent in there, and I just want to make sure that we showcase it to the world. So that's fantastic.
Okay, let me reshare my screen then. And here we go. So basically what I did is I just added an email. And you guys, you need to probably write me right now an email, because I don't have any email prepared for this use case. But what I will do is it's like all email, and it's all emails, and I just like give it like number 1. I just need to check which kind of emails I have in my email box. Yeah, I have some stuff I should not maybe share. So if you could somebody write me an email, that would be great. Do you need the email?
Sure. Can you give me an email address? I can send you one.
How can I post it in here? Do you know how I can, like, as a moderator or so, use the chat?
You can use the chat. Yeah.
Sending messages is only supported for hosts.
Yeah.
Enjoy the
Or
stream.
you can. Yeah, that's fine.
I'm
just
gonna
try
like
and read it. s.mertens@make.com. All right.
Just send me an email on this address so we can use it from here. Okay, cool. So what I will do is I'm just going to use OpenAI.
Is it meant to be a bad email?
I don't care. I really don't care. Okay, I have to shortly use a different account because I don't want to disclose in live building my API key. I probably can use this one. Yeah, let's go. So what I'm doing is right now I'm just testing the email, and yeah, that's not going to work because it's I need to refresh the connection. And I just, so you know, I always use delete for like my live streaming events, because these emails connection names should not be public, or should not be used in any other kind of automation. And that works quite well. So let's run this once. It should not return me, yes, any email right now, because there's no unread email in my, yes, perfect. And I see right now Claudia wrote me an email, and that should be, yes, and here, this is the email from Claudia. And so now let's take this email and pass it along to OpenAI, create a completion. And this is my OpenAI. And so these are basically, you might wonder, okay, what's ChatGPT and what's OpenAI? So prompt completion is OpenAI version 3. That's the one where you find the previously OpenAI playground and all of these things. And then there is, of course, ChatGPT, was like the chat completion. I'm going to use chat completion because that uses the turbo model. And then I'm just going to basically say, okay, you're assistant. No, you're an assistant. And the message, okay, rule. Do not include, and now comes like, you can simply learn like prompt engineering or prompt commanding. Do not include any other than the provided information. Task. So let me go shortly switch to the task.
I just gonna inception-y.
I'm really lazy. I just copy paste your task. Recognize if negative set value to negative if positive, set value to positive. And there we go. So basically, we do say email, and we say, okay, value, and set the value of the JSON. I kind of missed this one. Sorry. Set the value JSON. Here I have a chart too much. And then we go and give it the JSON. And that might already work if we give the email text. It's text. Now here we are not having, I don't define any kind of tokens, but I should define definitely a P, and I tend to use as a temperature, I use usually 1, and I set P to 1, and let's try this one if it works. And oh yeah, sure. Choose where to start. Email, select the first email. And that's also really cool that you can do that in Make. So I'm just gonna take this one and let's pass it along. And it will probably not instantly work. It's a bit of a try and error process. Let's see what we got back. Message. Oh, it directly worked. Nice one. Cool. That's good. That's good. And now
Awesome.
you can parse JSON with the choices and the message and the content. And I will just do it again. I'll just choose the start, select email, take the first one from cloud. Oops, not this one. I want this one. And save it anyway, and then run anyway. And if it works, this is the superpower of Make, that you can.
What would the outcome be?
Yeah, you can do email positive. And the whole thing why I'm doing it with the JSON is then you can do what has been asked, filter based on this event. Yeah, so I can say if email equal to positive, go
Then send a swag.
Yeah, send a Slack message. Create a message. And if it is negative, email negative, I don't know. Delete the user from the Postgres inbox. I don't know, whatever. So you could basically do this. I'm not going to do it because I don't want to set up my Slack or Postgres, but I think
awesome.
the case is kind of clear. And this is something in like all of the automation platforms out there. And probably some of you know me for quite a while. I've been playing around with all of these automation platforms, and this is the superpower of Make here. And yeah, so one more thing, what I would like you to show is, and I think we can use these 3 minutes for that. Claudia was so nice to put in her name and title into this email. You all see my screen. I'm still sharing the right one, correct?
Yep.
Cool, because I just switched in the tab. So what I will do is I will just change now the prompt here, and I will say, okay, do not include any information, recognize the first name, last name, job title, and company. And then we're going to say, respond me a key value JSON with the values. And
there's a typo with that.
Yeah.
Okay,
that should work. Okay, so I'm gonna unlink it. There we go. And let's see if it works. I know the case works usually, but it needs a bit more of a tweaking. Let's see if it works. Oh, this is okay. We have to probably work on it a bit. Text content. Yeah, I did not get the one. Recognize the first company. In the footer of the sender of the email, because I probably didn't get the context here that this was an email. And let's give it one more try, and then I think
one more try, one more minute.
We're good to yes, and then we're good to go. If I fail, I have to post it next week in the community or so.
100%, but I think we can all be very impressed. I mean, you showed an automation implemented with AI in under 10 minutes, so that's incredible, and it's successful. So round of applause once again.
Thanks, so good.
Awesome. Well, that was fantastic, Sebastian. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
As I was saying, just to take the time to be here with us today, and I hope to meet you. Maybe if you'll come to our conference in September, I don't know, but I would love to meet as many community members as possible. But if not, it's always a pleasure to have you here as a guest, and obviously to see you in in the no-code space, in our Discord, wherever it might be. So people, make sure that you link up with Sebastian, connect with him. He's always very happy to answer and support all of the questions you might have. So 100%. And so yeah, I guess I'll see you all next week, next Thursday.
Hey, thanks a lot, and see you soon. Bye.
Bye everyone.